That's me, 25 years ago. It is December 99, and finally, after a long time of waiting, I get my hands on the brand new Gran Turismo 2. And as I'm strolling through the showroom from car to car, I'm still unaware at this point that in the next few seconds, I will first time see my true big automotive love. That car that will from now away running through my head every single day. The Skyline R34 GTR. From now on, I still drive every single race with that car and get from race to race finding more and more love in it. Man, when I keep looking at this, memories come flowing back again. Give it to me now, it's my turn. Oh, it's my turn. Go away, I want a game.
Mom, this stupid guy took my controller!
Oh man, I was such a mother's boy. So my plan was made, and I took my target on focus. As soon as I'm adult, I will get myself an R34 Nissan Skyline GTR. Yeah, but what I didn't know at this time is how hard it will be. You know, let me explain you one thing. As I was a 13-year-old boy, my worldview was like this, exactly like this. A Mercedes, a Porsche, a BMW, a Ferrari, yes, they are expensive cars, and it will be quite hard and took a long time until I have the money to buy a car like this. But a Honda, a Toyota, a Nissan, I mean, come on, please, Nissan. Everybody know these are cheap cars. So there will be absolutely no big deal to get a car like this. For example, like a Nissan Skyline GTR, because it's a Nissan, you know? Oh yeah, but I was so wrong. In many cases, in case of how expensive this car is and how many time it will took. So time passed by and I'm getting older. And the more older I get, the more I deal with the topic of the Nissan Skyline R34 GTR. And the first thing I realized is this car is nowhere available at no car market in Switzerland, Germany or Austria. So what should I do? I'm still waiting. And as I was 19, the first Nissan Skyline R34 GTR comes on the Swiss car marketplace. And the price, wow, oh my God. The price, I remember it like it was yesterday, around 80,000 francs for a car. I was thought to myself, how could this be? This is a Nissan. Yeah, it is, and it was a Nissan, but it was not a normal Nissan, you know it. It is a high-tech product. Because when you look movies like Best Motoring, for example, this car competes on the racetrack against high-performance cars like Ferrari F40, Ferrari F50, Lamborghini Diablo, Toyota Supra, and cars like this.
Start! 四輪駆動でポールの GTR 早くも遅れた。トップで1コーナーに飛び込んだのは中谷 GT2。拓也ディアブロも好ポジションをキープ。さあ、それではリプレイ。
Yes, and that's all because it's a car from this level, and a car from this level costs a lot. Yeah, so my plan A was gone, but I have a plan B. I was still waiting until this car is getting older, because every car that's getting older is getting cheaper. And then, when it's getting cheaper, I will buy it to myself. Yeah, but the problem with this car was, the more older these cars get, it doesn't get cheaper. Yeah, that was a surprise. So more time passed by and I still keep waiting until this point, until this car drops in the price. So I still put my money by side, month by month by month. But then I meet my wife and 2 years later we get a baby girl. So now we had a different financial situation because you're a young father with a young family and there are other priorities. So I put my family at the first place, of course, and put my idea and my wish for the Nissan Skyline by side. But I know it will become again a time when my wife still will start again to work, my baby girl is getting bigger, and then I can again take care about my wish to get a Nissan Skyline. And it comes. It was exactly when I was 28 years old. So again, I have the money by side, I start again to search cars and I find it in England, to be more precisely on the website PistonHeads. I find a Midnight Purple 2 Nissan Skyline V-Spec 1 by a guy that was 35 years old, and we start to write email with each other. It was a funny, a cool guy that also loved his car, loved his Nissan Skyline, but he need to sell it because he has some financial troubles. And he see immediately how emotion and how much this car means to me, and he was glad and happy to sell it to me because he knew the car will be in good hands. So every week he sent me pictures and videos.
Haven't stopped me yet.
How he washed the car, how he drives the car, how great this car sounds. And I was getting from video to video more emotional. And 2 weeks before I need to go to England to pick up the car, something happens in our family and I need to take a big part of the saved money that I put by side to invest in this. And the dream with the Skyline again goes far away. So I let him know, I told him what was the situation, and he kindly offered me to wait 2 months more if I want until I get the money back. So because he wanted I get this car because this car means so much to me. But the problem was it was not possible to get around 20,000 francs in 2 months. So I told it to him, he should sell the car to somebody else because from my side it will took again years until I have that money for this car. What I need to say at this point, this car was around for 40,000 francs at this time. Yeah, so I was keep waiting, save my money again, put my money by side, and around 3 years later, I again have the money to buy a car like this for around 40,000. That was the market price down back then. And I find another one, also Midnight Purple 2, but this time not a V-Spec, it was a GTR, a normal one, somewhere in Manchester. Again, I took contact, started emailing with this guy. It was a dealer. He was specialized on Japanese cars and took them from Tokyo over to the UK. So I pay him a deposit. The car was already in the UK. He sent me pictures and put it on stock. And around 1 week before I need to go to pick up this car, something happens. Some guys go overnight in the stock where this car was and stolen all the parts, the Nismo wheels, because this car has special Nismo parts on it. Nismo wheels, steering wheels, seats and stuff like that. He sent me the next day pictures from, it was an RX-7, a Supra, around 3 Skylines. They are completely damaged and parts were stolen. And then the insurance told them, yeah, they will pay it to him, but they will took the cars. And so it was the same thing also with this car that I want to buy. The insurance took the car and paid him the whole money. So now again, I was at the point zero with no Skyline and another opportunity where I could buy it and lose it. Yeah, I was really, really sad. So I put it again on side to take care about my family, because now it was the point that I get a second kid, and again our final situation will change. But I will keep in my head, I will buy for myself a Nissan Skyline GTR. Yes, and then time passed by, and this car is getting more and more expensive. It was out of my reach because I didn't save enough money. The car is getting more expensive. I have, as a family father of 2 kids, different other more important priorities. And it comes a point when I was around 33, 34, I decided to my own, you know what? Stop, keep looking on the internet, on YouTube, pictures, videos of this car, because you're getting mad. And in the next few years, I doesn't see an opportunity to get my hands on a car like this. So that was the reason why I put the Nissan Skyline completely by side. So it must be three and a half years ago. It was a Saturday, a boring Saturday, and I was in the shopping mall. I was still waiting for my wife to finish the shopping. And what I need to say at this point, I successfully made it to ignore the Nissan Skyline for around 4 to 5 years. So ignore means I didn't take care nothing about this car. I didn't look pictures on the internet. I didn't watch videos on YouTube. I didn't play games with this car. So I completely ignore it because it hurts me anytime when I hear the name, when I saw pictures of this car. Anytime it hurts me inside because I wasn't able to get my hands on this car. So that was the best way for me to take care about myself, to doesn't get hurt by this situation, that I can buy this car. Yes, it was a Saturday, as I said, so I was waiting for my wife. I took my mobile phone and I came on the stupid idea to watch what happens on the market, on the Swiss market with this car. So I was put inside Nissan Skyline, and the first picture from the first selling car, there was just 3 cars on the internet in Switzerland to sale. It was a Bayside blue V-Spec Nissan Skyline R34 with my Dream alloy wheels by Folk Racing. Why Dream alloy wheels? Because I always, when I custom my Nissan Skyline in the games, for example like Need for Speed, I always custom it like this. Bayside blue Nissan Skyline with those Folk Racing alloy wheels, and it was exactly this car that I knew from the game, exactly this car that I customize every time for myself in the game. So I was blown away. I was blown away to find exactly this car for sale in Switzerland. And I even was more blown away by the price, because it was way more than 100,000 francs. It was really, really, really expensive. So the price for those cars, in those 4 years that I didn't take care about this car, that I absolutely ignore it, the price was exploded. The trigger point was that this car was standing around 10 minutes from that village where I was working, where I was having my office. So I come to the stupid idea to get in touch with the seller. It was a private guy, and we make an appointment. So I write him, yeah, I want to take a look at this car. It is 10 minutes from my job away. So let's meet some evening after work. I want to take a look at this car. And so we make an appointment. 1 week later, my idea was that because the car was not far away, and I didn't get the feeling I was able to buy it, because it's such a lot of money for a Nissan, for that money that this car was charged for. You could buy easily a Lamborghini Murcielago easily, no problem, for the same price, maybe a little bit cheaper. But doesn't matter, it was my dream car. It was not the Lamborghini, it was this car. So the idea was, you know what, I will go there, I will take a look, and I hopefully will realize, like, you know, never meet your hero. I will realize that this car is maybe not so great like I thought all over the years. Maybe I will go there, I will see it and sit in and maybe drive it, and I will be so disappointed that I can finally finish this chapter in my life with this car and go further, and doesn't need to take care about the Nissan Skyline that is out of my reach. So yes, I was really exciting at this day to go after work to visit this car. So I go to this village, I go to this address, and I see first time this car on the parking space waiting there for me. And that was so exciting. I didn't want to get out of the car. Like when you meet some person that you are, when you meet your hero, you know, some famous person, and you are scared to get and shake him the hand. Same situation by me with this car. But I was trying to play it cool because I mean I'm a car seller, you know, and I'm trained in this case of behavior. So I go to him. He was there, a younger guy, really sympathetic guy, really nice guy with his wife. We start to talk about this car, and I see this car in person first time. It was much nicer at all the videos and photos. You see it first time in real. It's such a nice car. That was my first thinking. It's much nicer than on the photos and or on the videos. It is much more, how you want to call it? It looks much more present on the street than you see it on the pictures. Yeah, so we start to talk about the car. He told me about the story of the car, about his owning, about the pre-owner, about the customization of the car. And I have the first time the opportunity to sit in this car. And I reminded like it was yesterday. From this moment when I was sitting in this car, everything is so familiar to me because this is the interior that I was playing on PlayStation over the years, and I know every button. Doesn't matter, I'm the first time in this car, I'm the first time sitting in a Nissan Skyline, I know every button, I know everything about this car. I know how this steering wheel looks like, how this multimedia display looks like, everything, the cluster, the gauge clusters, everything. It was so surreal because you're sitting the first time in this car, but you know this car. It is like your home. You know, it's such a funny feeling. And I didn't want to get out of this car. This was so a nice feeling, the seats and everything, the smell, how this car smells like an older car, but it was nice. And yeah, so he gave me the opportunity to make a test drive with me, so I get on the passenger side, and he started to drive this car, and then this great sound, this noise from this RB26. You already hear it so many times on the videos, on Fast and the Furious. On the games, and it's exactly this sound of type of sound color, but so much more nicer to hear it in real, how this turbocharger is whistling, how this engine works. So he drive it 10 minutes with me to get it warm, to get the engine warm, and then after 10-15 minutes he started to drive more sporty, aggressive, and I was blown away by the performance of this car, how this car feels, how it goes through the corners, how the acceleration was, the sound, how everything feels to you as a passenger in this car. I was blown away. It was like, I don't know, I never took a drug, but that's how I imagine if you took a drug. It makes you want to get more of this excitement, more of this feeling. Yeah, at the end of the evening, I was saying goodbye to him, and I told him I will go home, think about it, and we'll let them know in a few days. So I was sitting in my car driving back home. I was blown away from so much emotions that running through my head, to my body. It was I cannot describe it. So it was so great. And at this point, I set the decision, you know what? You talk about this car so many years. You dream about this car since you were a kid, and now you drive this car. And it is not like never meet your hero. It is exactly the other way. It's the best car you have ever driven before. I've drove Ferraris, I drove Porsches, I drove different BMWs, M, RS, Audis, AMG, Mercedes, everything. And nothing is like this car, nothing. So you need to buy this car. And now we will take care about how you can buy this car, what you can do. Maybe sell your bikes, sell one or two of those cars that you have in your garage, but you need to find a way to buy this car. Yeah, at the end, I find a way. I let the guy know I will buy the car. We make an appointment. But first, I want to meet him once again to take the car on a lift, to put the car up, to check it down under the chassis, how it looks like, if everything is good. And we're making a new appointment. So I took my kids with me because they want to see finally those cars that their father was talking year after year after year. Since they are born, I'm talking about this car. They know the name Skyline since they are 2 years old, and they want to come with me to check out this car. And I told them, kids, listen, so this guy will come. I will talk about the price with him, so stay cool, please, no emotions. Don't jump around the car, and let them know that you like this car. And then we will see which price we can get. Yeah, they confirm it to me. They want to do it like this, but forget it. After the first time when the Skyline drives into the garage, the kids were so emotional. They're jumping around this car. They called to me, Poppy, Daddy, you need to buy it. You need to buy it. And I try to start playing cool. Okay, so we start to talk about the price. I found out he was not really. He thought about the few days since I was there about not selling the car, because he also has an emotional story to this car. But his wife a little bit pushing him in this way to sell the car, and so we started talking about the price. We find each other, but I was scared that he will change his mind. So I gave him the contract to sign it, and I will transfer him the money to get the car a few days later to pick it up by him. And it took around 6 days until I can go pick up the car, and I was able to sleep at the night because so much excitement running through my head, and scared doesn't get this car, that maybe he will change his mind, because the last 2 times I lose the opportunity to buy those cars. So always something was happening. And the evening before I go to pick up the car, we make an appointment, a rendezvous at 5 o'clock at the morning. Before he go to work, I will go to his garage to pick up the car and drive home. And this evening, it was horrible for me. I didn't sleep, I could not sleep. I was scared he'd change his mind and all that stuff. And then finally the day comes. I drove with my brother at early at the morning to Zurich, where he was living, to pick up the car. And I reminded like it was yesterday, I drive in his garage. He already opened the car to put his stuff from the Skyline in his other car. It was a C6 Corvette convertible, and the car is standing there. I took some pictures. It was such a great moment. And then we talk a little bit, and then I sit in this car and drive finally, first time with my own Nissan Skyline out of the garage. It still was dark out there. I drive through the town, everybody's still sleeping. I drive out of the town through a small way where a forest was. I pull up on the right side, turn off the engine, and let the emotions flow through me, all that have been running through my head over the years, all the emotion, all the pressure, all the sadness the many times I tried to get this car and always something happened. And now finally I was sitting in my own Nissan Skyline R34 GTR. I started crying. It's no secret. I started crying like a little boy, I was so happy. I was so full of emotions. Finally, I made it. Finally, I have my own Nissan Skyline. It was a great moment. And the whole day, I still driving with the car. I was everywhere to show it to my family. Took my kids and my wife with me. We make some road trip. And the following summer, it was springtime when I was picking up. The following summer, we was so many times with this car on road trips.
Hat schon wieder gemacht. Das hat mich schon gemacht. Jetzt. Die Satz auch.
Position.
Hi. Ja. It was one of the nicest summer and one of the most emotional summers I have ever had in my life. It was such a great time. I love it to think back about it. We have so much special moment with this car. Yeah, it was great. Yes, it was really a great summer, a nice summer with this car until this happens.